In the darkest reaches of the Perseus arm of the Milky Way, humanity's latest deep space exploration vessel, the Odyssey, drifted near the uncharted planetary system of Gliese 581. Captain Illyria Miles stood at the helm, her gaze locked on the panoramic display that showcased the swirling maroon and azure planet below. It was larger than Earth, with signs of vast oceans and sprawling continents veiled in mystery. Sensors are picking up traces of advanced electromagnetic activity. Looks like we're not the first to admire the view, her first officer, Lieutenant Graham Knox, remarked, his eyes flicking between the readings flashing on his console. Illyria's heart thumped with a mix of exhilaration and apprehension. This was why they were here, after all, to find and interact with new life forms, though everyone aboard knew the risks involved. Prepare the contact protocol, Knox, and alert the crew. Level 2 readiness. No sooner had the Odyssey's alerts hummed through its corridors than a beam of light enveloped the ship. The crew braced themselves, unsure of what was to come. Moments later, the light dissipated, and standing before them was the most enigmatic figure Illyria had ever seen. She was tall, nearly 7 feet, with skin that shimmered like a starlit night. Her eyes were wide and luminous, the irises swirling with colors that defied description. Her attire seemed to be of a piece with her body, a sleek, form-fitting suit that highlighted her powerful physique. "I am Zira of the Illyrian," the alien announced, her voice resonant and oddly melodic. "You have entered our realm, humans. What is your purpose?" Illyria stepped forward, her posture relaxed yet assertive. "We come in peace, Zira of Illyrian. I am Captain Illyria Miles of the Earthship Odyssey. We seek to explore and learn." Zira's gaze was piercing, as if she could look straight into Illyria's soul. Curious and bold. "I like that." A mischievous smile played on her lips. "But exploration has its price, Captain. Are you willing to pay it?" Before Illyria could respond, Zira continued, "Tonight, I'll make you beg, human." The words were not spoken with malice, but a kind of predatory anticipation. "You shall come to my world under my terms, and we shall see if you're worthy of the secrets it holds." Illyria exchanged a glance with Knox, who looked equally intrigued and wary. This was not the first contact scenario they had rehearsed, but it was certainly the most intriguing. Illyria nodded slowly. "We accept your invitation, Zira. We are prepared to learn and to understand." "Very well," Zira replied, her voice now soft yet commanding. "Follow my ship. The journey begins." As Zira vanished as suddenly as she had appeared, her sleek silver craft became visible, leading the Odyssey towards the vibrant planet below. Illyria felt a mix of dread and excitement churn within her. This first encounter had taken a turn into the unknown, and she could only hope that her decision would not lead her crew into peril. As the Odyssey descended into the atmosphere of the alien world, the view from the bridge was breathtaking. The oceans glittered under the twin suns, and the continents were a tapestry of colors that artists back on Earth would have envied. "What do you think she meant by making us beg?" Knox asked, breaking the silence. Illyria smiled wryly, her eyes still fixed on the looming planet. "I guess we're about to find out, Lieutenant." The ship shuddered as it entered the atmosphere, the alien world embracing them in its vast, unexplored embrace. Whatever awaited them on the surface, Illyria knew that their lives and their understanding of the universe were about to change forever. The Odyssey glided through the alien skies, following Zira's ship towards a sprawling metropolis nestled between towering crystalline spires that shimmered with 1,000 hues under the twin suns of Illyrian. The cityscape pulsed with energy, bridges of light connecting buildings that seemed to defy gravity. As they descended, Illyria marveled at the advanced technology evident in every facet of the alien civilization. Upon landing, the Odyssey's crew was greeted by a delegation of Illyrian beings, each adorned in robes that seemed to shift in color with their emotions. Zira stood at their forefront, her presence commanding yet welcoming. "You have arrived, Captain Miles," Zira greeted, her voice carrying a resonance that seemed to reverberate through the very air. "Welcome to Illyrian Prime." Illyria stepped forward, her crew flanking her with a mix of awe and trepidation. "Thank you, Zira. Your world is beyond anything we imagined." Zira inclined her head, acknowledging the compliment with a slight smile. We are honored to host you. Our elders are eager to meet the beings from Earth who dare to explore the unknown. Led by Zira, the Odyssey's crew was guided through the city's bustling streets, where they encountered a myriad of alien species, some humanoid like Zira, others more exotic in form. Each species seemed to coexist harmoniously, their interactions governed by an unseen code of respect and curiosity. As they approached the grand citadel at the heart of the city, Alara couldn't shake the feeling of being scrutinized by unseen eyes. The architecture of the citadel was a blend of organic curves and precise angles, seamlessly integrating into the natural landscape. Inside, they were ushered into a vast chamber adorned with holographic displays depicting the history and achievements of the Illyrian civilization. High above them, seated on a dais of shimmering crystals, were the elders of Illyrian. Ancient beings whose wisdom was etched into the lines of their faces, they regarded the newcomers with a mixture of curiosity and solemnity. "Captain Miles," spoke the eldest elder, their voice resonating through the chamber like distant thunder. "We are the Council of Illyrian. We have observed your kind from afar, but never have we encountered humans face to face." Alara stepped forward, feeling the weight of her responsibility as the ambassador of Earth. "It is an honor to meet you, Council of Illyrian. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and understanding." The elders exchanged glances that seemed to convey silent communication before the eldest spoke again. "Knowledge and understanding are precious gifts, Captain Miles, but they come with a price. To earn the secrets of Illyrian, you must undergo our trials." Alara's heart skipped a beat. Trials? She had expected diplomacy, negotiations, perhaps even a cultural exchange. But trials? The implication was clear. They would have to prove themselves worthy of the Illyrians' knowledge. "What kind of trials?" Alara asked, her voice steady despite the unease creeping into her mind. Zira stepped forward, her eyes locking with Alara's in a silent understanding. "The trials will test your courage, your intellect, and your adaptability. They are not without risk, but those who succeed will gain insights that few beings in the galaxy possess." Alara glanced at her crew, seeing the mixture of determination and apprehension mirrored in their faces. They had come too far to turn back now. "We accept your challenge, Council of Illyrian. Lead us through these trials, and we shall prove ourselves worthy." The elders nodded in unison, their approval echoing through the chamber. "Very well, Captain Miles of Earth. Prepare yourselves. Tomorrow, the trials begin." With that pronouncement, the Odyssey's crew was escorted to chambers within the citadel, where they would rest and prepare for the challenges that lay ahead. As Alara lay in her bed, staring at the ceiling illuminated by the soft glow of alien technology, she wondered what awaited them in the trials of Illyrian. Whatever it was, they would face it together, as explorers of the unknown, driven by the insatiable thirst for knowledge that bound humanity across the stars. As dawn broke over the spires of Illyrian Prime, the Odyssey crew assembled in the grand atrium of the citadel, their expressions a blend of determination and trepidation. Zira joined them, her form radiating confidence that seemed to infuse the air itself. "Today you face the first of 3 trials. This will test your intellect and ability to adapt to the unknown," she announced, her voice echoing subtly off the crystalline walls. The crew followed her to a vast arena-like structure, its floor a labyrinth of glowing pathways and hovering platforms. In the center, a colossal holographic interface pulsed with light, intricate patterns shifting and changing in constant flux. "This is the mind maze," Zira explained as they stood at the threshold. "Each path you take can lead to progress or setback. Your goal is to navigate to the central hub and solve the riddle it presents. You must work together, as the maze adapts to your choices." Alara nodded, her mind racing through potential strategies. The crew split into teams, coordinating their efforts via communicators. As they stepped onto the pathways, the maze reacted instantaneously, paths illuminating while others darkened, hinting at the complex algorithm driving the system. Inside the maze, the challenge became apparent. Holographic illusions created barriers that were not just physical but psychological, playing on each member's fears and memories. One pathway led Lieutenant Knox to relive a past failure, the scenario so vivid it nearly broke his concentration. Illyria, guided by her instinct and leadership, found her path fraught with obstacles that tested her decision-making under pressure. At each junction she paused, analyzing the feedback from her team to choose the next step. The maze seemed to learn from their tactics, continually evolving to present new challenges. Hours passed, their progress measured not just in distance covered, but in the resilience they showcased. The central hub finally loomed before them, a towering pillar of light with a single interface. The riddle it posed was a complex problem of logic and theory, the solution requiring insights from astrophysics, biology, and the unique properties of Illyrian technology they had observed. Pooling their knowledge, they constructed their answer, each member contributing a piece of the puzzle. When Illyria entered their collective solution, the maze responded with a surge of light, pathways converging as the walls dissolved around them. Zira awaited them outside the now transparent maze, her expression one of approval. "You have shown great intellect and adaptability. The mind maze has not been solved by outsiders in many cycles." Flushed with the success of the first trial, the crew returned to the Citadel to rest and prepare for the next challenge. In the privacy of her quarters, Illyria reflected on the day's events. The trial had pushed them to their limits, yet it had also pulled them together, forging their diverse skills and backgrounds into a unified force. As the second trial approached, the stakes became clearer. This was not merely about proving their worth, but understanding the depths of their own potential and the profound complexities of Illyrian society. The next trial, according to Zira, would test their courage in ways they could not yet imagine. But for now, Illyria allowed herself a moment of quiet pride in her crew's achievement, knowing that whatever lay ahead, they would face it with the same unyielding resolve. The second trial awaited them in a location far removed from the gleaming spires of Illyrian Prime. Zira led the Odyssey crew to a rugged terrain dotted with towering rock formations and deep chasms filled with a bioluminescent fog. The landscape was otherworldly, the ground beneath their feet pulsating with a soft glow, illuminating the alien flora that sprang up in bizarre, twisted shapes around them. "This is the Gauntlet of Courage," Zira explained as they stood before a massive archway carved into a living rock, vines creeping over its surface as if clutching the stone. "Beyond this arch, you will face physical and mental challenges designed to test your bravery and resilience. Each of you will enter alone. What you encounter will not only reflect your fears but also your deepest desires." One by one, the crew members stepped through the archway, disappearing into the swirling mists beyond. Illyria was the last to enter, her heart pounding not from fear, but from a fierce determination to face whatever the trial might conjure. Inside the gauntlet, the environment changed rapidly around her. Illyria found herself walking through a series of scenarios that tested her limits. First, she navigated a narrow ledge overlooking a vast abyss, the path crumbling beneath her feet, forcing her to make quick, decisive leaps to safety. Next, she encountered a series of holographic opponents, each one more formidable than the last, challenging both her combat skills and her ability to strategize under pressure. As Illyria advanced, the challenges became more psychological, more introspective. She faced illusions of past failures, each scenario designed to sow doubt in her mind. One moment she was back on Earth, reliving the mission where she had lost her mentor. The next, she was on a failing ship, forced to choose who would survive a doomed escape pod launch. With each step, Illyria pushed forward, her resolve hardening. She used each test not only to reaffirm her strengths, but also to confront her vulnerabilities. It was a cathartic journey, one that peeled back the layers of her psyche, revealing the core of her being. Finally, she emerged on the other side of the gauntlet, stepping out into a serene clearing. Zira was there, her expression one of deep respect. "You have shown remarkable courage, Captain Miles," she said as the rest of the crew, each appearing shaken yet unbroken, regrouped around them. "Your fears are potent, yet your will is stronger." As they shared their experiences, it became clear that each member had faced their own uniquely tailored trials. Their personal demons turned into lessons of resilience and fortitude. The bond between them had grown stronger, tempered by the fires of their individual adversities. With the second trial concluded, Zyra led them back towards the citadel. "The final trial awaits you tomorrow," she said, her tone serious yet encouraging. "It will be the most demanding yet, for it will challenge not just individuals, but the unity and integrity of your entire crew." As night fell over Illyrian Prime, Illyra lay in her chamber, pondering the final trial. The experiences of the gauntlet lingered in her mind, each one a reminder of the complexities of fear and courage. She knew that whatever the final trial might bring, they would face it together, stronger and more united than ever. The true test was still to come, and it would determine the fate of their mission, and perhaps their very understanding of what it meant to be human among the stars. Morning light bathed Illyrian Prime in a cascade of colors as Zyra gathered the Odyssey crew at the base of a colossal structure known as the Nexus. It stood at the very heart of the city, its surfaces alive with pulsating lights and swirling energy patterns. "Today, you face the Unity Trial," Zyra announced, her voice echoing against the monolithic walls of the Nexus. "This trial is designed to assess the strength of your bonds as a crew and your ability to operate as a singular entity amidst chaos and uncertainty." The crew entered the Nexus, a vast interior space that resembled a complex neural network, pathways branching in myriad directions, each pulsing with light. At the center of the room was a massive holographic console with interfaces that required simultaneous manipulation. "As a team, you must stabilize the Nexus core," Zyra instructed. "The core will attempt to disrupt you with psychological and environmental stressors. Success depends on your coordination, trust, and collective problem-solving." The trial began as soon as Illyra gave the nod to proceed. The room vibrated with energy, and holographic displays bombarded them with real-time simulations of emergency scenarios ranging from system failures to alien attacks. Each scenario required immediate and coordinated responses from the crew. The environment within the Nexus became increasingly hostile. Artificial winds howled through the chamber, and the ground beneath them simulated the tremors of an earthquake. Visual and auditory hallucinations tried to pry their focus away from the task at hand. Illyra directed her crew with a calm authority, each member playing their part with precision. Lieutenant Knox handled logistics, rerouting power and resources as needed. Dr. Sariel, their chief scientist, solved complex algorithmic sequences that controlled the stabilization process. Meanwhile, Chief Engineer Renault tackled physical obstacles, repairing simulated damages to the Nexus infrastructure. As the trial progressed, the crew's actions began to seamlessly sync, their movements and decisions becoming instinctual. When one member faltered, another was there to support, their collective effort never wavering. It was as if the crew had transformed into a single organism, each part functioning in harmony with the whole. Finally, as they initiated the last sequence, the chaos within the Nexus abruptly ceased. The core stabilized, bathing the room in a soothing blue light. Exhausted yet exhilarated, the crew stepped back, waiting for Zyra's assessment. "You have demonstrated exceptional unity," Zyra said, her voice resonating with a mixture of surprise and respect. "Your ability to remain interconnected under extreme stress is commendable. Few have succeeded in this trial with such coherence." The crew's relief was palpable, their faces lighting up with pride and newfound confidence. They had not only met the challenge, but had also exceeded Zyra's expectations, cementing their reputation as not just explorers, but as a formidable team capable of facing any adversity. With the completion of the Unity trial, Zyra invited them to the Council of Elders, where they would discuss the outcomes of the trials, and what it meant for their continued relationship with Illyrian. As they prepared to leave the Nexus, Illyra felt a profound sense of achievement. The trials had not only tested them, but had also taught them invaluable lessons about themselves and each other. As they approached the council chamber, Illyra knew that the experiences shared here would resonate far beyond the confines of this alien world, shaping the future of their mission and the bonds that would carry them forward into the vast, uncharted realms of space. As the Odyssey crew approached the Grand Council chamber, the doors parted silently, revealing the Illyrian elders arrayed before them in a semicircle. The chamber itself was a marvel of architecture, with flowing lines and ethereal lighting, that seemed to pulse with the life force of the planet itself. Zira led Alara and her crew to the center of the chamber, where they stood before the elders. The air was thick with anticipation, the weight of their achievements hanging heavily in the silence that ensued. "The trials you have undergone were not merely tests of skill or resolve," the eldest elder began, their voice deep and resonant, filling the chamber with its timbre. "They were reflections of your spirits, your unity, and your potential to transcend the ordinary." Another elder stepped forward, their eyes reflecting a galaxy of stars. "Your success in the Unity trial has proven that your kind is ready to engage with the deeper realities of the cosmos. You have shown us that humanity possesses the capacity for growth and understanding necessary to join the greater galactic community." Alara felt a surge of pride swell within her. The trials had been daunting, a journey through their deepest fears and highest hopes. Now, standing before the elders, she realized that they had gained something invaluable: recognition and respect from a civilization far advanced from their own. "We are prepared to offer you an alliance," another elder declared, "one based on mutual respect and shared knowledge. We will provide you with access to our archives and technologies, and in return, we ask for your cooperation in exploring and understanding the challenges facing this sector of the galaxy." The proposal was more generous than Alara had dared hope for. Access to Illyrian's archives could propel human technology forward by centuries, opening up new realms of science and exploration. Alara stepped forward, her response clear and resolute. "On behalf of humanity and the crew of the Odyssey, we gratefully accept your offer. We are eager to learn from you and share our own experiences and knowledge." Zira smiled, a gesture filled with warmth and promise. "Let this be the dawn of a new era for both our peoples," she said. "Together we may face the unknown with courage and curiosity." The elders nodded in agreement, and the chamber was filled with a harmonious sound that seemed to resonate not just in the room, but across the very fabric of space, a signal of a new alliance being born. As the formalities concluded, the crew of the Odyssey was invited to partake in a celebratory feast, a tradition among the Illyrian to honor new friendships and alliances. The feast was a vibrant affair, filled with exotic foods and lively music that transcended the boundaries of language and culture. Later, as the Odyssey prepared to depart from Illyrian Prime, Alara took a moment to stand at the helm, looking back at the luminous planet that had changed them in ways they were only beginning to understand. The trials had not only tested their mettle, but had forged them into a unified crew, ready to face whatever the galaxy held. As the ship set its course back towards Earth, Alara knew this was not the end of their adventure, but a beginning of a broader engagement with the cosmos, filled with new allies, new challenges, and endless possibilities. The stars awaited them, and they were ready,